Hi, it's Liz here, and I'm back with my altered book, Land of Make Believe, and we have already completed the inside cover and this lovely one here, and then this is what we did last week. His eyes were bright, a good little boy, generous and true. So I'm going to try something a little bit different today. We will still do a collage, well, an easy collage on this page, but I thought it might be an idea to have a cutout here so that we can look through to the collage on this page. I've already stuck a few pages together. I think maybe 3 or 4 pages have been stuck together, and a little bit of washi tape down the middle there just to keep it nice and secure. So yeah, so that's the plan. So this page, and this page. Yeah. So I'm using this book, The Spring Stories by Maremi. It's small art, and they're all on Amazon. I'm not sure if there's information at the back. Here we go. So that's where we get the books. And she's also got a YouTube channel with lots of inspiration. Yeah, so this is my second book. I've got the steampunky type book, the Industrial Personas, I think it's called. So let's make a start, and I'll show you kind of what the plan is with these pages. So I've cut out from the book one of the background pages, which is clouds, because I thought that might be quite nice to look through the clouds to the page underneath. So we'll get that stuck down, and on the opposite page, well, on the other side of that page, I've chosen this background. And so we're looking through the clouds, if you like, to the garden, and we'll stick that down, and then we will get this through the garden and through the window, and I don't know, out of the window. So through the garden and out of the window, and then we've got a few wee bits and bobs to create a nice collage. I've got them all cut out here, and we'll use them on that page. Looking through the window from here, we'll see this this little fairy girl, and I just thought that might be quite a cute idea. Now the only thing that worries me well, not the only thing that worries me is cutting out the shape through this quite thick slidey paper, but you know, in for a penny. Indeed, in for a penny. Now we'll glue the book rather than glue the paper, because I think it should go to the edges more or less. Maybe not quite the edge there, but it should more or less go to the edge. Make sure we've got it the right way up. I've cleared out some of the storage in my phone, so we should be okay with it not going off like yesterday, where I was talking to myself for a wee while. You weren't there, you left me. Yeah, that's good. So we'll let that dry in a little bit, and we'll get the second page on. Yep, I'm just making sure that I'm in the middle for you now, as well as going off. I don't want to be not in kind of the centre as much as I can, so that you can see everything that's going on. Right, that should be us, and this sheet for here pretty much fits. And of course we could do the third sheet just while we're here and doing this type of thing. And then that means I've got my little Aegean blue Versa Magic chalk ink for roundy edges, just to give it a little bit of colour around the edges. And then if I'm not quite got my paper lined up with the book page, then it means that will cover up any misdemeanor. So just get, with the glue stick you get a little bit of wiggle. See, like here, there's a tiny wee bit where it's just not quite fitting, because that wasn't a background, that was actually just like a part of a page in the book, was that window. There's some windows like this, and it was a slightly bigger window, and so it doesn't quite fit my page. But let's see if the ink will work its magic. And before I stuck them down, I maybe should have inked along that edge, but you know, that's just too bad because it's too late now. But I'm not so concerned about that edge because there isn't a bit of book shining through, because it's down the edge of the washi tape. So it's fine. Right. Just do this. This is the good thing about the little chalk pens, inks. You don't need to use a bit of sponge or a blending brush or whatever it is you might need. And the only thing about it is it's going on shiny paper. The little smidgen of book page that's shining, that I haven't covered, is shiny, and I'm not sure that this will dry all that easily. It will eventually dry, but it will stay a little bit wet for a wee while. I don't want to especially come in. I'm just wanting to kind of cover where my just do a little bit extra at the corners, just for a little bit of fun. Maybe I'm putting off the fateful day of having to cut out this shape from the middle. Okay, so we've got our 3 pages. And already they're looking nice. Okay, so a little extra thing that I've done. I got my Big Shot die cutting machine out, and I looked out some dies because initially I was going to do a circle, because it was a circle that was in my head, and I was going to use this circle here, the one that's nearly, and I was going to cut, because it's in a book, you obviously can't run the book through, so I would have used my pencil and drawn round and then cut that out. But I thought, well, if I look through my dies and I can get like a fancy edge to take away any roughness, but the circle ones I've got with scalloped edges and things are actually much smaller than this set. So that wasn't going to work. And then I looked through my other dies and found this. So this is creativeexpressions.uk.com and it's called Belgian Collection Background, an elegant collection of high quality steel dies. So I'm not sure if this is still available. You might find it in eBay if you fancy it. So I cut out that and the middle. And I thought a rectangle, and they're on a magnetic sheet. I'm not sure if it came on the magnetic sheet, but I have already put all my dies, because I keep them in big folders and they're all on magnetic sheets, and I'm not sure, some of them came like this. Some of them came in magnetic sheets and some of them I just bought a big magnetic sheet and then you just cut it to size. I don't know. So anyway, I need this, and I've put it away, to draw around. And I just thought it would be easier to cut out a square or a rectangle rather than a circle. And then this will just sit on top of the gap a little bit and maybe hide any bits that I don't do properly. And plus it just gives it a nice finish. So I've got one cut out for that side and one cut out for there. And I just thought that would be a nice finishing touch. And it also looks like maybe more of a kind of window like the final one does. That won't be getting cut out. That'll be getting the little girl and some flowers collaged onto it. So really, I just want to kind of guess, if you like, where my middle is. And I think probably about there. And that just looks kind of straight as well, I think. Let me just... yeah, that would look about right. So I'm just going to... whoops, draw around my finger. Right, that doesn't look quite straight. No, it's not. I could use a bit of washi or something to hold that, but I wish I had done it straight in the first place. Right, there. I can easily even it up. Right, now, I only want to cut through that. I don't want to cut through that. So I'm going to just... and if I just cut out bits to take me to the edge, I can cut it out a section at a time maybe. And I don't know how this will affect the book pages, which have only been glued really round the edges. So I'm not sure how that will affect, but if we have to glue, then we have to glue, and we'll do that. Right, okay, maybe that's enough of that. and we will try very carefully now. If I go quiet, I'm busy concentrating. I don't know what all those tiny wee bits are. I won't worry about it. And I'll be able to tidy up any edges. This is quite awkward because the book, but I can't do it that way round. I thought I'd be able to, but I can't. I think because I'm right-handed, I need to do it from away from myself, if you know what I mean. Now, how is this looking? Right, I've got a little bit there. Let's, before we cut any more, check. Now that doesn't quite, I thought that would have covered. I thought that would have covered the, right, do you know what? I should have drawn round the inside of that frame, because that cut out that, and it cuts out, it doesn't cut out right to the edge. The little raised bit is, yeah, right, okay, all is not lost. Let's just draw around this frame. Obviously the geometry of it all, I should have drawn round the other side of that, because I've got a pencil mark on that now, but that's okay. Right, now let's just try and get a little start. This might be quite tricky, but it's okay because there's a little border that will cover up, I think, if we do it slightly bigger than what it needs to be. I think I should have had a glass of wine before I started this. Oh, I need to tidy that up. We can tidy that up at the end. doggy barking. It's unusual. And outside. Right, let's leave that just now because we might not actually need to do anything with that. Yes. Or no. It hasn't quite reached this top bit. For some reason, that needs an extra bit off. You'll be wanting to fast forward this shenanigans. But I didn't not want to do it on the camera because sometimes you think, well, you want to see how it's done. See, that's better. There's just a little bit there. I think I'm going to take another smidgen off this side and then that will be that. Just a wee bit. And I think it's because there is a border to play with there. And I'm doing it without a line and hope that I can just keep it straight. Okay, that should be us now. Yes, perfect. Apart from a wee bit there, which you probably won't even see on the camera. You'll be like, what is she doing? Can I get it from this side? Yes. There. Okay, so we see what we mean. I wonder if that's going to be a nuisance. That opening up like that. I don't think so. Right, now we need a tiniest wee bit of glue. Let me just move all my bits. There we are. So, the tiniest little bit of glue round our square. Let's see if we can just do the edge. Yep. And then just some little bits. And let's get this on. Okay. Grand. And if I had a mind to, we could ink that opening. I'm not sure if I'm going to need some glue between those pages. we will carry on regardless, because I spent far too long on cutting that circle, rectangle out for sure. Whoops, don't want to break my frame. Okay. I'm thinking maybe I could put some double-sided tape. Oh look, and he peeks through from that side as well. Do you know what? I hadn't even thought about what would happen on this page. But he peeks through too. That's quite cute. Right, let's leave that just now and concentrate on finishing off here. So we want her to be a little bit over there. Let's just make a tiniest little bit at the side of her foot. Okay. Nearly there. All we have to do is stick down our collage pieces, and then I think what I'll do to finish off camera is I'll maybe put some glue in here, because I think that's going to open up. And that was that little pencil mark there. She's a cutie, isn't she? This one keeps lifting. I don't know why. Right, now I've got proper sticky fingers. And the good thing about that is it makes me lift my flowers. So I've got some flowers that, for this corner I thought might be quite nice. But my fingers are so sticky. Let me just, I've got a wee drop of water here. When your fingers are just too sticky, it's really not what you want. Right. So let me think how we can maybe a nice little clump of flowers just in the corners there, I think. Okay. And then we've got some words to add, which will be a nice finishing touch, I think. Just tuck that one under that one. And nice little one. Room for one more. Room for a little one. I don't know why this isn't sticking down. It's sticking down there on the others. Oh no, maybe it's not. I think I might have to use my my 3-in-1. I'll go over that maybe, and I'll maybe stick some down these openings. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. But you get the idea. How cute is that? And I'll finish that off because that'll just be about sticking glue down these gaps and giving it a bit of a squeeze. Anyway, let me just, I've got these Tim Holtz Ideology clippings, and I've picked out She Was Wishing Just at That Moment All Her Dreams Would Come True. So she was wishing just at that moment all her dreams would come true, and I just thought that was just super perfect. She's about to blow a dandelion clock and make a wish. So let's think up here, I think. I don't want it to sneak in. Oops, they're very bouncy. Yeah, there's plenty of room there. No wonder my fingers get sticky. Running it through the glue. Yeah. Okay. Oh, was that a bit of a faff now? Was that worth it, do we think? It maybe needs as well a wee flower or something here. Or maybe like a butterfly. It maybe needs something else. And it'll maybe get another flower here or something. But I think as a concept, I'm pleased with how that's turned out. and I think it just needs some extra gluing, which I can do to tidy it up, and maybe a wee finishing touch here and a wee finishing touch on this side as well. But I think overall I'm happy with how that is. It's a little bit different, and I think, like, you know, when you look through a book, to come to a page like that, I think would be cool. Do you not think? Yeah, well, I think so. But apologies that I'm not going to finish it completely today, because I need to fiddle about with that and decide what the best thing is to use, and cut out a few wee bits. But I hope that was okay. If you enjoyed the video, a thumbs up would be great, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.